In this video, I'm going to show you how to use OneDrive Assignments in Schoology. OneDrive Assignments have several advantages over using the standard assignment interface in Schoology. So first, using this tool ensures a standard file type. So if you set up your assignment as a Word document, then all of your submissions will be Word documents. You won't get some that are Google documents or other file formats that you have difficulty opening. Second, every student's file will have their name in the file name. So you won't have any difficulty identifying which document belongs to which student. And all of these submissions will be saved in your OneDrive under Schoology Microsoft OneDrive Assignments. Because we're using OneDrive, which is a Microsoft product, all of these assignments are going to be using Microsoft applications. So the reviewing tools, for example, are going to be available to allow you to make comments and corrections, and I find those to be much more intuitive than what's built into Schoology right now. And then finally, those comments and corrections will be saved in the file itself, and the students will be able to see those on their own OneDrive, or if they go onto Schoology to look at their document. Right now, if you use a standard Schoology assignment, then all those comments are lost when the student tries to download them. The first thing you have to do is create an assignment document. So in this case, it's going to be a Word file. So I have a favorite animal assignment that I have in OneDrive. So I've created it. It's a very simple, silly little assignment, but I've created it and I've placed it into OneDrive, and I know where that is. Okay, so when I go into Schoology, so this is an internship class, doesn't have any students in it right now, so I'm just using it as a dummy course. So I don't have any course materials in here right now, so we're going to add an assignment. So just go to Add Assignment just like you would with any other type of assignment. It's going to be the same interface. The only thing that's going to be different is eventually we're going to click on this OneDrive Assignment button down there. So I'm going to name the assignment, so it's going to be favorite animal. In the description, this is where you would put any instructions that aren't in the document that you're linking. So I'm just going to put a note, general note here that says to put here. And that's just so that we'll see where that information appears in another view whenever you're looking at student submissions. Now there are some options down here for configuring the assignment. I'm going to go through these now. Certainly some of them you could wait to finalize later. I'm making it due on July 1st, just before midnight, and it's going to be a 12-point assignment. Category is going to be homework. Grading period is going to be the default. Now if you have a rubric designed, or you're going to make a rubric, this is how you would access it. So I did create a simple rubric for the favorite animal exercise, so I'm going to attach it to the assignment. And so that rubric is going to show up whenever we look at the assignment and see the submissions that the students have given us. Now that we've set most of these parameters, it's time to connect this assignment to a OneDrive file. So we click OneDrive Assignments. The first time you do this, it's going to ask you to log in, but then thereafter it should be linked to your account unless maybe you use a different computer or you change your password. So I have the assignment in the COVID-19 folder, and it is called Favorite Animal, and then hit Attach, and then finally Create. So here's the assignment showing up in my course materials. It shows up on the calendar over here, so that's where the students will see it there as well. Now we're going to have another video that is from the student's perspective. So we'll show you how the students are going to be able to interact with this interface to submit their work. We have that as a separate video so that we can share that with our students as well. So some of them will have used an assignment through OneDrive before, but others may not. So that separate video will be geared toward the students, but it should also be useful for you. So like magic, some time has passed. I have a student who has started to work on this assignment, and I've added a few other students to the course. So to check on progress, I'm going to click Favorite Animal, the assignment that I've created. Here we see the assignment, the due date, any additional instructions which I didn't have. This is the original document that the student started with, and then I have the rubric here. If I click on In Progress, I'm going to see a list of my students. So I've added some students from my department to the class, unbeknownst to them. If I click on Devin, it says he hasn't started it. So neither of the three people at the bottom have started this assignment. Marissa has started the assignment, so I click on her name and it shows me what she's done so far. If I click Open, then I'll be able to review what she's done. If I click on the Submissions tab, you see that no one has submitted the assignment yet. So all of these are in progress, and only one of the students has actually started the project. Now we see that we have one ungraded assignment submission, and so we can either click there or click on the assignment itself. On the Submissions tab, we see that Marissa has submitted the assignment and she has submitted it on time. Here we have the grading option, so if we're ready to grade it, we just click right there. The rubric pops up and we can make our selections on the rubric. So let's step through this. Okay, so what is your favorite animal? She responds, my favorite animal is a cat. So how's the clarity of choice? Yeah, pretty good. What's the definition? A small animal with fur has 4 legs, a tail, and so on. And then she's provided the URL. So that was my simple, silly little assignment. So I'm just going to assign the grades here. For thoroughness, it was a very simple assignment, excellent. Source credibility, Cambridge Dictionary, looks pretty good to me. And here we have the rubric entries, 4 points each, and then it totals those at the top. Now if you don't use a rubric, then you would just be clicking in here to put the point value in there by itself. So here you can make a gradebook comment if you like. If there was a deduction and you want to explain why the deduction was there. If this came in as a late assignment, you want to add a little reminder to the student that it was late, then that can show up in the gradebook. If you use a gradebook comment, like if it was late, you can share that comment with your students. Otherwise, these are going to be just comments to yourself. Okay, so I've saved the grade. You see the grade there. If you want to make specific comments on an assignment, then you'll need to open it up in the 365 application. So in this case, it's a Word document, so I'm going to open it up in Word 365. Now you can do this for a submission, or you can do it when it is still in progress. So if a student starts a submission, works on it over an amount of time, and then before they submit it, you want to make some comments, then you would do the same thing. So I'm going to click Open. Here we see it opens it up in Word 365 online, and I'm going to make some comments here. So I'm going to highlight the response that she's given, click on the Review tab, add a new comment, if I needed to make some corrections, then I could do that too. So in the reviewing panel, you have the option of tracking changes. So I'm going to track the change, and there's this extra A there that might have actually been on my original document. So I'm going to delete that, and it's going to mark that as deleted and note that I've done that. Alright, so that's all the comments and corrections I want to make on this document. Office 365 applications, autosave, so there's no save button on here. There certainly are download options, but we don't need to do that. So I'm just going to close the tab because it is already saved. And now if I go back here, I see the regular interface, and if I click Open again, it's going to show that it has saved those comments. So those comments are going to show up as balloons here that you can float over to see those changes. These submissions are saved in a OneDrive folder for you, as I mentioned earlier. So I'm going to navigate to my OneDrive, Schoology, Microsoft OneDrive Assignments, and here you see it has created 3 folders. So the folder that we're using right now, Psychology Internships, and it has the favorite animal exercise, and it shows Marissa's submission there. Now if I back up a bit, so I'm in Schoology Microsoft OneDrive Assignments. These are the 3 courses that I've used this tool in before. So if I go to my myth-busting class, you're going to see the midterm exam, and you can see the students who have submitted those assignments. So as I said before, it's going to show the file name. So the file name was midterm exam, and it's going to preface that with the student's name. So you can easily identify which student has submitted which piece of work. If I go into these, it's going to show me the comments that I made on those files, but again, it's not going to be showing me the rubric. It's not going to be showing me the scores that I submitted using that rubric. You can only see that when you're in Schoology. If you don't use a rubric in Schoology and you don't want to work through the interface on Schoology, you just want to get to the students' assignments and get to reading them and making comments on them, then just go to your OneDrive, navigate to the folder that contains the assignment, and start working on them from there. Then of course you would need to manually enter those grades in the gradebook, but you don't have to have that Schoology interface open if you're not going to be using the rubric function. One final point. The example that I've shown you today is for a Word assignment, but Word is just one of the applications available in the Microsoft Office suite. So if you want students to collect data of some sort and put it into a spreadsheet, then you can have an Excel document linked to it. If you want students to create a PowerPoint presentation and narrate it, then you can use basically a blank PowerPoint template for them to link to. So it is a pretty flexible tool. It has the advantages that I mentioned earlier, and I think once you use it a couple of times, it will become pretty easy to use and intuitive. Thanks for watching.